Hello everyone, my name's Crafty Carl and I have a Facebook page called Crafty Carl Creations. I do some tutorials to help other crafters with some of their decoupage work or making frames, etc. And I'm just building up a wee portfolio of tutorials on my Facebook channel Crafty Carl Creations to help others. There's a few up there already, so you can go on ahead and take a wee look. There's quite a lot of tips and step-by-step instructions to help you through a few projects there. But for this tutorial here, I'm going to do a bit of decoupage and accessories on these wee wooden hearts that I recently purchased from Wooden Crafted Gifts on Facebook. I'll put their link at the end of the tutorial, along with a photograph of the finished product. These are MDF. They're quite light. They are about 2 centimeters width, thickness, sorry, and from the top of the heart to the bottom they're about 10 centimeters in height, and then the width's about 10.5. So what we're going to do a wee bit of bling on this, a wee bit of decoupage, and then we're going to bling it up, etc. I'll try and whiz through it quickly here because these wee tutorials can go on a wee bit due to drying process and accessories, etc. So what I have done, I went on ahead and put a wee aging all the way around. You'll see the reason for that shortly. I use these acrylic paint markers. So I just went on ahead and I'll just show you quickly here. As I say, you just go around the wee edges here. If you want, you don't have to go through this process. If you have got, for example, finished wood like oak, but these are MDF, and I just like to have that wee bit of aging on. The reason for that being is I use glitter tape or other ribbon, etc. To go around the edges. So if you can imagine this layout here, do you see this? It's the green standing out from the pink glitter, and it's just showing that aging rather than the wood. And whenever you see it all put together, it does look pretty nice. So that's the reason why I do that. So I'll put that there. Because I'm handy in the computer, I went on ahead and done that. Because it is a lengthy process as well. What I do is I just find my background. Now this paper I use, if you haven't heard of me already, I use very light paper, and the reason for that being is it works better with the Mod Podge. Now that's just my personal preference, and the weight of this paper is 75 grams. The other tutorials will tell you that also. So I've just went on ahead and printed out a background and printed out a design. And whenever I printed out my design, look, you can see the outline there. What I've done is put my heart and top and drew around it. And the quickest way of doing it is just going around it quickly with your scissors and leaving a wee bit of an overhang, and then you're going to be trimming that later. So I went on ahead and done that to show you why. And you can sort of see your pattern developing, obviously, if you can imagine putting it together. So first things first, I'll cut out this design here for the front. I'll show you the front. I won't bore you with the back, because as I say, these tutorials can go on a bit, and I can do it off camera. So I'm just carefully going around the edge here, leaving a wee bit of an overhang, because we want to do a wee bit of an just a trim. I'll just smooth off the edges then. There we go. So I use the Mod Podge here. I'll just show you this. This is the gloss one, because I find this here leaves a lovely like a sheen, a glossy sheen over it. So you might prefer matte yourself, but that's what I use. I'm just showing you what I use. I get myself to the pound shop and I buy these wee radiator rollers as well. They're very cheap and I use this here. So for handiness, I've got my Mod Podge here. Okay, and we're just going to apply a smooth layer just on top so we can get our pattern on. Okay, and smooth it out thin because you don't really want any big bubbles, any chances for bubbles or anything to you having to roll out, sorry, whenever you get it on. So that's that. And then what we do is we get our pattern and we put it on as close to as what we can, noting that I have left a wee bit of an overhang to allow for the natural trimming process. And then we use our hand, flat of our hand, and just rub that across, and you'll get a nice smooth balance because we haven't overdone it obviously with the Mod Podge in the bottom. Okay, and then what I tend to do is I get myself an emery board and I just trim off any of the overhang edges that I have left there because I want a nice neat finish. So I'm just trimming off the surplus paper there. Okay, I'll continue doing this and then I'll do the back and then I'll be back in a second or two. Okay. Okay, there, it's all trimmed now for the front and the back. So now what we're going to do, we're going to apply the Mod Podge onto the front and the back. And we're going to do a very light first coat, and the reason for that being is we don't want to overwork the pattern because what will happen is the colours will run and we don't want that. So very lightly we'll apply the Mod Podge. We'll apply the Mod Podge here, use the roller over the top, and you can see a nice wee gleam. Oh, there, caught the light there, and you can see it just happening, which is not, as I said, gives a lovely effect, the roller, because I've tried various brushes and you always see the odd wee stroke of the brush, so I kind of stay away now from the brushes now personally myself. So pop it across, try and hold the edges here to get the back coat done. So just add enough here and then just give it a roll for the first coat. Don't overwork it because you don't want the colours to run. Okay, and we'll leave that there to dry for about half an hour and then we'll come back and do the ribbon. Okay, I let it dry and I went on ahead and give it a second coat so you can sort of see the sheen coming off the second coat there now. It's quite shiny. Alright, so what we're going to do now is I'm just going to tread carefully because it's still the tiniest wee bit taggy. I'm just going to go on ahead now and we're going to apply a wee bit of Mod Podge around the edge here because we want to put on our glittery tape now. Now it's up to yourself, you can use silk ribbon or any ribbon at all for that matter. I've got quite a lot of these wee type glittery tape and there's a slight amount of adhesiveness on here as it is, but I'm just going to put on the Mod Podge because I won't worry about it coming off then. Sometimes whenever you let the wee tape sit on their own, the heat maybe would make them come off again, the adhesive, they would lose their stickiness. So this way it's just kind of like a double security measure for me, just to, I feel, to put on the Mod Podge. Plus at the same time I'm sealing the edges of this acrylic paint markers, and I'm sealing the edges of the front and the back designs, paper designs, so it works out, helping everything really. So there we go, there's a wee light layer of Mod Podge all the way around there now. It's that warm here in this craft room, it's drying as quick as I'm putting it in. Right, that should do the trick now. Okay, here we go. So it's just really a matter of you lining it up. We put a wee bit of an overhang there, and we shall just begin popping it all across. Okay, you see here what I'm doing. It's not the hardest of tasks to be doing here, but we'll just feed it on round the heart here, round the top, on round the bottom side, and then we can trim it off. Alright, and we'll just leave that alone till it fully dries, and we'll trim the wee bits at the bottom in a minute or two. But for now, you can see what's happening, starting to take shape. Don't worry about Mod Podge, you see it there wet, that'll all dry out clear and you won't see it. So there's no worries there. So what we're going to do now, well, what I like at this wee design, I've done a few frames like this here. So I'm going to put some buttons, glue some buttons onto here, and I've all these here, which is quite handy. I'm just going to, what I find for me, it's very I go to the pound shop and I buy these wee things of super glue, which I think's fantastic because they do my job. Plus the fact I would be a bit worried that wee fittery things like this here would end up coming off again. So I like to be sure that I'm putting it on with something that I know is not going to come off, especially with wee things like this here that I could just be sitting there for a while, and then, as I say, sometimes whenever you don't use the right glue, the heat alone in the room, I find they would come off again. So I'm just going to go on round here and continue this wee process here. Look, you can see what I'm doing. I've put the buttons all the way around this wee heart, and I'll be back in a wee minute. Okay, there we see, you can see now that I've went on ahead and I've put wee buttons all the way around with that lovely sheen of the Mod Podge, and I actually only gave that 2 coats, but it's come out lovely, that lovely sheen. So that's basically it. You can add other embellishments or whatever, more ribbons, etc. You can do what, you know, the list is endless on what you can do with these gorgeous wee hearts. I'll pop the link up in the video here, and a link to the Wooden Crafted Gifts Facebook page, should you want to purchase these wee hearts and have a go yourself. Okay, and any questions at all, sure, you can pop them over to my Facebook page, Crafty Carol Creations, and this YouTube will be going up, or sorry, this video will be going up on my YouTube channel as well. Alright, thanks for watching. There'll be a few more tutorials following shortly, because I have a few more products as well that I'm going to be making up very shortly. So have fun with your own creations. Bye.